It's funny looking back that after Australia, I actually made a video saying that potentially Max and Red Bull might need Mercedes to improve so that they can start taking points away from Leclerc and Ferrari. Now we are almost halfway through the season with 9 races down and 13 remaining. And I don't know about anyone else, but I am actually shocked at how quickly this championship has been turned around. And at this point, it's almost gone from Leclerc versus Verstappen into Max basically running away with it altogether. When we left Australia with Max staring into the abyss of his car in smoke, he was 46 points behind Leclerc. Now, after Canada, Max is in a position where he's 49 points ahead of Leclerc, and Leclerc isn't even the driver that's second in the championship. Sergio Perez is that guy that's currently second, but as I've said many times on my channel, and also on the Talking Points podcast that I do, although Checo will have his moments, and although Sainz will also have his moments, in 2022, we know that it's only going to be Max and Charles who realistically have the speed and consistency to actually challenge for their respective teams. The good news is that if Max can turn a 95-point swing between him and Leclerc in just 6 races, to me Leclerc also has the talent and car performance to do the same looking at how many races we still have left. There is one positive in a way for Charles in that the pressure now swings on Max to close out the championship. Max is the reigning world champion with experience, he has a teammate who is now doing a great job as his number 2, and after winning 5 out of the last 6 races, the pressure is now on him to not choke the championship away now. I think psychologically that helps Leclerc a little bit because there is a lot emotionally that goes into fighting for your first world title, and more than that, for that first title to be for Ferrari of all teams, who have been desperate to get back to the top to where they haven't been for a very long time. The pressure and expectation is just unimaginable. In fact, this is actually a question that I'd like to get your thoughts on as well in the comments in terms of pressure. Apart from fighting for a record 8th title where everyone is looking at you to either be a record breaker or crumble, is Leclerc in almost the most pressurized situation possible in F1, fighting for a first world title in a team where the expectations and the desperation are in equal measure, and then you just throw in a driver of Max Verstappen's caliber into the mix as well. I don't actually know, but I'd be interested to know your thoughts in the comments below. Either way, although I'm sure Charles and the team probably won't see it this way, maybe being the hunter instead of the hunted might release some pressure and psychologically allow Ferrari and Leclerc to perform as a team with more confidence. I do think there's a very big difference between having the lead in the championship and needing to always look over your shoulder to protect it and having that gap to make up, but having that feeling of freedom, of knowing that you can't really get worse than where you are. Of course, the thing that's dominated headlines has not really been Leclerc, it's been the Ferrari team and the reliability of their car. Now, on the reliability, Leclerc was unlucky that so early in the season he had to take an engine penalty, and that for him Canada was a recovery drive. But in terms of the actual retirements themselves, he and Max have the same amount of DNFs that came from reliability issues. Max retired in Bahrain and Australia, and Charles retired in Barcelona and Baku. It isn't just a case of Leclerc is so far behind because Ferrari have been unlucky with reliability. In fact, so far, it's actually Red Bull who have had more issues as a team than Ferrari, and yet they're still leading the Constructors' Championship. Things have actually been a lot closer between Red Bull and Ferrari, but it just seems that whenever either team or driver make a mistake, it just seems to be biting Ferrari more. Both Leclerc and Verstappen have made mistakes, but when Max went off in Spain, he lost a few seconds, whilst when Leclerc went off in Imola, he lost a podium. Both teams have had power unit issues, but again, Ferrari is the only one which has had to take penalties. I don't know if pressure comes into this, but when things go wrong at Red Bull, it's bad. but when things go wrong at Ferrari, it's catastrophic. However, in terms of the actual car performance, this is still something that I think should be a huge positive for Ferrari. Although we don't know how the development battle will play out, especially in the second half of the year, Ferrari as it stands now still have a car that is more than capable of winning this championship. That has to be the biggest motivating factor for the team. They still have a car and a driver that every single weekend should go into a race knowing that they can win every single race. It's better to have a fast but unreliable car than a slow one that just keeps going. The truth is that from top down, drivers, management, strategy, development team, pit crew, Red Bull is a better team. They have been a top team ever since 2009, never falling into the midfield, and they have all the pieces needed to win a championship. Ferrari are only now beginning to be a top team again, and when you're fighting for wins, the scrutiny on everything you do is turned up to 11. Their strategy decisions can still be shaky, pit stops are statistically not as good as Red Bull, and they have to learn and improve on all of these areas. They have the driver, and they even have a quick enough car. That is literally the two most difficult things to get right. It's now going to take a little bit of luck and hard work in terms of the reliability, and Matteo Binotto will really be tested in terms of his leadership, but they can overturn this deficit and get back into the title fight. In a really weird way, and I don't know if I'm the only one that feels like this, I don't really feel like this championship battle has really started yet. Or to be more precise, I don't really feel like we have a championship narrative yet. In 2021, we had it from start to finish. In the first third of the season, it was backwards and forwards between Lewis and Max. Then in the middle portion, it was Max who went on a strong run and built up a slight lead but was never out of sight from Lewis. And then in the last third, it was Lewis who closed out the championship stronger and gave us a title decider in Abu Dhabi. Now, the way it was actually decided, maybe let's not talk about that now. The point is, we had a championship narrative and two drivers who fought for it consistently from start to finish. In 2022, it doesn't really feel like it's really kicked off yet. It looked promising at the beginning of the season, but very quickly it's gone from this new generation battle of Max versus Charles and Red Bull versus a resurgent Ferrari, to now, I don't even know if we still have a battle at all. To be honest, it really does look like Max and Red Bull might genuinely run away with it without even really breaking a sweat. However, please don't think that I'm saying that after 9 races, the championship is over, the title is sealed, and the 2022 season is a wrap. It's not, but for all of the neutrals out there, I think we all want to see a closer title fight that goes down to at least the last 2 or 3 races. And ultimately, it's not Max's or Red Bull's job to slow down, it's the job of Leclerc, Sainz and Ferrari to start proving that they really are a Ferrari team who can win the championship. Well, there you have it, another video in the bag. Don't forget to let me know all of your thoughts in the comments box below, and also if you did enjoy this one and want to support the channel, then don't forget to subscribe as well, that would be massively appreciated, and I'll see you in the next one.